everyone, you're watching Business of Sport on Cricketnext. I am Suramya Kaushik, your host. Well, IPL 2023 is over. We have got a winner, Chennai Super Kings. They lifted the trophy for the fifth time in IPL history, and now they are the joint most successful team in IPL alongside Mumbai Indians. It's been a great tournament. 2 months of power packed action, great matches, and at the end of the day, we saw Chennai Super Kings with that trophy. And those joyous moments of Chennai Super Kings will be in our hearts for a very long time, especially the moment where MS Dhoni lifted Jadeja after Jadeja smashed those winning runs. It was a great tournament. But what stood out for me in this IPL was that all the matches were so exciting. And never did I feel that any match was jarring, or I felt that this match is boring or that match is boring. Now, what stands out for me is that how these matches can be so exciting and so competitive, and how IPL has regained its charm again this year in IPL 2023. Well, to answer this question and lot more questions, I have with me Network 18 Group Sports Editor K. Srinivas Rao. Hi, Srini. I hope you enjoyed IPL 2023. Firstly, tell me what was your response to the time when you saw Chennai Super Kings getting that trophy again in IPL?
Well, had it not been honestly, I mean, had it not been Chennai and had it been Gujarat, either which ways, I would have been extremely happy. Why? Because again, I mean, I think what we do, we're not fanboys here. So, but beyond
Yeah.
that, I think why I love the fact that is because the final and the thrill of the final was a fitting tribute to the quality of the tournament that we've seen over a period of 2 months, right?
Hmm.
Where
Hmm.
200 plus scores began to look pedestrian. And
Right.
in fact, yesterday I said this that Shubman Gill has made such a huge difference to my psyche as a cricket
Hmm.
watcher that a score of 214 was beginning to look ordinary. Now, just until very recently, anything above 200 would look like the total to get in IPL, right?
Hmm.
And suddenly
Hmm.
214 is beginning to look small.
Yeah.
That's what this IPL and that's what the kind of batting that we've seen in this IPL has done to us. So yes, the final was a brilliant tribute to what the tournament has been.
Absolutely. But Srini, I remember, a few of the IPL seasons where some people said that, now IPL it's got a bit boring and all of that. But this year, the way we saw numbers, the viewership numbers, I believe that home and away a concept might have helped this time. But I want to know the exact reason that why did this IPL become so exciting? Because of the quality of performances or what? I want to know.
A variety of combinations. Number one, quality of cricket went up primarily because in the first year, I think when franchisees began to organize their teams with new
Hmm.
players, it was still like kind of the time was less. So
Yeah.
kind of for the players to get used to each other, get to know each
Hmm.
other, the camaraderie, the bonding, the building of a fresh
Hmm.
new team may or probably have taken some take longer than the others. And
Hmm.
that might have kind of taken its own time to settle down. So we
Hmm.
saw that probably turning a circle where teams settle down into a much more relatively more comfortable space.
Hmm.
Okay, that's number one. Number two is crowds came back. Crowds
Yeah.
that had gone missing during the pandemic, and crowds. So people ask me a lot of things. A lot of times people ask me about home, the concept of home support or home advantage in
Yeah.
IPL. And I say that home advantage from a condition standpoint is literally negligible.
Okay.
The only home advantage, the major home advantage in a tournament like IPL that you get is the crowd that eggs you on, the crowd that cheers you on, right? Unless it's the madness of Chennai Super Kings, where wherever you go you will
Yeah.
find MS Dhoni fans, or even Virat Kohli to a large extent. You play in
Yeah.
Delhi, the home crowd for Delhi goes missing when RCB goes there, because again it's
The
people
Delhi boy
supporting
there
Virat,
in us.
local Delhi boy. Yeah. So again, if you leave that aside, then I think, and by the way, this is just work in progress, because the IPL is just a 15-year-old tournament. It's still a pretty teenage tournament, right? as
Yeah.
as it grows, we will understand how this fan following will mature and actually become more studied, and That is the in that lies the biggest home advantage. So that was number two. Three is
Mm.
3 years of the pandemic, 2 years, 3 years of the pandemic, we saw the tournament being played at one or maximum two or three venues, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was in UAE where matches were played between Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai, or whether it was between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai, or whether again in the 50% of the tournament that had gone back to the UAE. What happened
Yeah.
was that matches were held at only those many venues, and more or less the format began to was kind of identifiable. Nothing was
Mm.
kind of, not much was being left to imagination. Game after game after game, see, when you have to play 60 matches and then you're playing it across only two or three venues which have around 5 to 6 pitches, but not all of them can be used, then chances are that at some point in time in the tournament, matches are going to get a lot more predictable, which is what we saw.
Mm.
And I think all of those factors had added up, and then the frustration of players living in bio bubbles, and life was
Yeah.
not easy. I mean, so many players have told me about the horrors of living inside the bio bubble, where you were just restricted on just about everything. All of that too
Mm.
had begun to take a toll on IPL.
Yeah.
This had added to what the tournament had already been going through for a while between 2014, 15 and 2018, 19, which I have said this
Mm.
again and again. The IPL had stopped innovating. It wasn't doing anything new. It wasn't giving anything
Mm.
to imagination. It wasn't giving the viewers anything extra. It was just some
Extra.
random 22 men
Absolutely.
going out on the field playing a T20 game coming back,
Mm.
right? So this
Mm.
was already happening. So this year we saw the introduction of impact player. So that
Yeah.
again added
Something new.
excitement. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Which I keep saying, the ICC IPL needs to keep adding something every season or second season. So this is what we'll get.
Yeah. True, true. So the impact player concept was new. What was new was the fact that how finale was played. I mean, it was scheduled to be played on 28th May. Rain played a spoil spot for the first time in IPL history. Final match was postponed to the reserve day on 29th May. And then again, people had to wait for those 2 hours because rain came in, and the result was announced on 30th May to be precise, right? And it was something very different, but the crowd in Ahmedabad, they were excited. They cancelled out their tickets as well because they wanted to watch the match. They wanted to enjoy the finale. Srini, what do you make out of it?
But kudos to the crowd in Ahmedabad. You have to give
Mm.
it to them. I mean, I was watching the visuals,
Mm.
and it's raining and people are dancing in the rain, and
Uh,
they're just enjoying, and there is impasse, and twice we heard that the inspection of the pitch kept getting delayed, and but it
yeah,
never, the frustration never showed, where the crowd was concerned, and imagine in that kind of a rain, that the rain on day one, I mean, the actual day of the final on Sunday, wickets would have been like kind of sorry, I mean, the match got washed away. People were carrying
yeah.
physical tickets which they were asked to keep it safely,
Keep
right?
preserved.
uh,
Yeah,
Tickets must have gotten wet, tickets must have gotten like kind of, people were so clear that they had to keep it safe and had to come back the next day to watch that game, and were
yeah,
so sure that uh, things would probably kind of go as expected. And why not, they did go as expected. I mean, and that's why I
yeah.
said the final was a fitting tribute to everything that we saw over the last 2 months. By the way, I
Two
was, as
months.
a small joke here, I was talking to some people in the Gujarat Cricket Association, and I said,
Okay.
very, very generous of you that you allowed so many CSK fans to buy tickets, and ensured that it was fair to both the teams. So
Hmm.
he said, yeah, yeah, we did, but truth be told, those CSK fans were from Gujarat only. Our people who are MSD fans, they wore the Chennai Super
Yeah.
Kings jerseys and flocked. So that shows the fan following the man enjoys, not just restricted to Chennai. It's a pan India fan following, which we saw.
Absolutely. Thala fans were present out there in the stadium, and it was quite evident because they stayed till the end when Thala came out and he, talked about his retirement plans, and, he dressed himself the big question out there. So it was quite evident that those were Thala fans. But now let's should we talk about the business of IPL, because I remember that a few of our episodes were about the business side of Indian Premier League, and in a couple of episodes we discussed that for the first time in 15 years how the central sponsorship pool crossed 1,000 mark, and we also 1,000 crore mark, and we were discussing that, what kind of profits do stakeholders make, do franchisees make. Now when this IPL is over, Shri, I want your views on that again, because we talked about that concept before this season. Now when the season is over, I want to know your views on the profits made by the stakeholders and the franchisees and all of that.
All right, yes. Coming into this season, yes, it was a phenomenal year for IPL where sponsorships is concerned. They touched
Hmm.
the 1 crore mark. They managed to get sponsors for the purple and orange cap. We know
Yeah,
Saudi giant Aramco came and sponsored the cap, orange and purple
the
cap,
purple cap.
which
Hmm.
was first of its kind. I can tell you, Lalit wanted to, when Lalit was the commissioner of the IPL, Lalit had wanted to sell the orange and purple cap. He said, this is my dream that the orange and purple cap should have its own sponsor. And that dream came true.
Hmm.
And I think that was another feather in the cap for IPL. 1,000 crore mark. Yes, you're right. That was again, kind of another feather in the cap. And why did we see this kind of money coming in? Because you're also witnessing an industry change, a transition. How many of these
Okay.
sponsors that
Hmm.
you see now are traditional business houses? Not many. Of course, Tata is the title sponsor, which is fine. But other than the Tatas, tell me how many of these sponsors are actually, those the traditional business houses of India as we know it, the Tatas, the Birlas, the Reliances, and then
Hmm.
and like Mahindras or whoever, right? I mean, no, what are we seeing as sponsors are new age fintech companies, new age digital
Yeah.
companies, new age, startups. The startup industry has been gunning for the sponsorship space, whether it's Upstocks, whether it's
Hmm.
whatever. I mean, Cred or you name it, like, right? Why? That's again a story in itself,
Hmm.
because these companies need, what is the one thing that a startup needs? A startup needs visibility. A startup needs to be seen.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
is a nod to IPL that these companies are willing to invest top dollar to come and sponsor
Hmm.
IPL because they think IPL guarantees you visibility. And I think that
Hmm.
is the
Right.
hallmark of
Absolutely.
the product that we're talking about. See, that's why,
Hmm.
when a sponsor is coming and leaving immediately, as in not staying for earlier, a sponsor used to come and have a 10-year association, right?
Yeah.
Now a sponsor comes, wants to stay for 2 years and move on. That's not
Hmm.
because the product is not guaranteeing return. The product is guaranteeing returns within the limited amount of time. And that is why the sponsor wants to come, make the most of a 2-year investment, 3-year investment, and walk on, move on. I can tell you,
Hmm.
Upstocks, for
Yeah.
example, wants to move on
Hmm.
because they already
Hmm.
have got what they wanted from IPL. They wanted visibility, they got it. So that
Yeah.
again was a chip on the like a kind of it's been a chip on the shoulder for IPL for the longest time, that we guarantee eyeballs, right? And
Right.
yes, those who are investing in terms of sponsorships are benefiting out of it. Coming to broadcast, phenomenal. I mean, we've seen, this was the start of a new cycle, the 48,000 crore
Absolutely.
cycle. To
Yeah.
quickly exercise the minds of our viewers, I'll tell you
Hmm.
what this means is 48,000 crore over a period of 5 years gets divided 50-50 in a ratio of 50-50 between 50% of this money goes to BCCI, 50% of this money will go to the 10 franchisees, right? So
Right.
not just 48,000 crore, in fact, add 5,000 more. So we're talking about 1,000 crore per year central sponsorship, right? That's also part of the
Yes.
central revenue pool. So 48,000, 48 point something plus 1,000 odd. So just for the sake of calculation, let's say 54,000 crore is a total kitty, right?
Hmm.
In 54,000 crore, 27. So it gets divided 27,000 crores between BCCI and the 10 franchisees. So the 10 franchisees will earn 2,700 crore each over a period of 5 years. This
Years.
is, yes, over a period of 5 years. This is revenue from central revenue. This is just central revenue pool. As in
Hmm.
2,700 crore, I'm saying per franchise. So it is 540 crore per year.
Per year. That's
Per
huge.
year, per year, a franchise is earning 540 crores. This is only from the central revenue pool. What you are earning as local revenue is separate. Is the
Yeah.
example, RCB got Qatar as a 70 crore deal, that is separate. Gate
Separate.
money, you
Yeah.
earn 3.5 crores per game, which is around 21, 22 crore per season, maybe 21, 25 crore, anywhere between 20 and 25 crore per season. That is separate. Everything else, that add another 100 crore there, right? So
Hmm.
all of that is separate. This is only 540 crore approximately, is only central revenue pool. In that,
Cool.
look at the expense. Sorry, I'll just complete this. Look at the expense also. How much?
Yeah.
I mean, you're paying 100 crore for to form your team players. That's the salary that you're
Hmm.
paying, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, let's keep another 100 crore aside for your logistics, your managing salaries, logistics, hospitality, everything. 200, you're still
Hmm.
making an easy 300, 350 crore every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Which means clearly that BCCI is making money, franchisees are making money, stakeholders are also making money, TV numbers are also going good. Then Srini, the big question out there, why players are not making money? Or are they? Are they making money?
That's a very important question, Suramya. We need to answer this. Before I come there, everybody's making money. You said, right? Yes. Everybody,
Yeah.
Lalit sits in London and keeps saying every second month, every third month, you'll hear Lalit say, IPL is recession free. That's how he speaks, right? I mean, yes,
Yeah,
IPL is recession free. But remember, there are no free lunches in life.
true.
Somebody is picking the tab for what you are enjoying. Somebody is picking the bill for what you are enjoying. In this case, BCCI is making money, franchisees are making money, everybody is making money. The bill is being picked by the broadcaster. Obviously, the broadcaster is getting numbers.
Hmm.
Thankfully, because this year the IPL did decide to innovate, and they did decide
Hmm.
to actually think of cricket, introduce the impact player rule. I keep saying this
Yeah.
again and again and again, that cricket needs to keep innovating, cricket needs to keep doing well for the
Hmm.
broadcasters' interest to stay, which in turn will ensure that these bills keep getting paid.
Paid. Yeah.
So the primary responsibility lies with BCCI, and we will plan another show sometime where we
Yeah.
are going to talk about, is BCCI doing enough? I don't think so, but we'll leave that for
Okay.
another day.
Yeah.
I'll
Let's
come
leave
back
it
to the
there.
point that you
Yeah.
raised about players.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the players are earning the way they should. Everybody's seen a rise in their revenues, right? I mean, look at the
Hmm.
franchisees. The previous 5 years, when Star India had bought Star Sports had bought the rights, they had bought it for 17,346 crore. Fifth year matches went up, so let's say 18,000 crore is what Star paid over a
Hmm.
period of 5 years to the BCCI to
Yeah.
own IPL rights. That money got distributed. 50% went to the franchisees, 50% went to BCCI. So 9,000 crore are distributed between 8 franchisees, which was around 850 or 900 crores per year, per
Right.
franchise. And,
Yeah.
and out of that, what, 80 crore was being spent
It-
on players per season by
Exactly.
franchise.
Huh.
So now the central broadcast revenue has gone up from 18,000 crore to 48,000 crore.
48,000 crore.
Franchisees that were earning less than 200 crore or maybe touching 200 crore per season are
Hmm.
now earning 540 crores from the central revenues pool, right? So if
Yeah.
everybody is making money, why is the player not making money? Now,
True.
for the same example, if 18,000 went to 48,000 crore, which is a 2.5 time jump, I'm
Yeah.
thinking 80 crore should have also had a 2.5 time jump, which means it
Two and a half.
player salary
Exactly.
first should have gone up to 200 crore. 200 crore,
Hmm.
right? Which
True.
has not happened. And I would like to see that correction being done. And okay, BCCI might be conscious of the fact that they need to keep a salary bracket for players. That is, again, I think, again, I will say this, maybe it'll take time for this to happen, but nobody can decide how much a player should earn. A player
Absolutely.
will, like in football, like in NFL, like in NBA, there'll
Hmm.
come a time when a player will demand top dollar and will get paid for it. But until that, increase the salary purse and allow a
Yeah.
franchise to pick as many players they want. Don't put a rule, don't put a you can put a the benchmark saying that when the tournament arrives you can only have 15 players on the bench. That I understand, but don't
Hmm.
put a rule in terms of how many players can a franchise hire,
Higher.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that when you do that, franchises will go and they will scout for good talent, because obviously they
Yeah.
want to spend money on good talent, right? So
Yeah.
these are things that BCCI needs to sit down and think about. I don't think it has happened as yet.
So yeah, obviously we know that this is a front where we need some sort of correction because everybody wants to know why players are not making money and all of that. On the other side, I also feel that another thing that needs to be addressed is the timing of the matches, because this time around quite a lot many things were discussed about the timings, how why the matches went up so late, and also the front where why there are double headers on weekends, because the whole weekends go in just watching the matches, Saturdays and Sundays. All those things were discussed. But apart from that, Srini, what I saw and what actually made me feel really surprised that how people are crazy for cricket. The numbers on Jio Cinema went up to 3 crore mark, especially when I'm talking about the final match. It touched the 3 crore mark. And there were three times when MSD was playing, Virat Kohli was playing, and Shubman Gill was playing. All these three times it crossed the 2 crore mark. And maybe because of the reason that Jio Cinema was offering free telecast of these matches, and it was available in various languages. But I wanted to quickly wrap up these two issues, and is there any connection between it? Because when we think of this whole thing, that how people were saying that these matches were going up till late, I didn't see it because the numbers on Jio Cinema was just soaring high. So do you find that there's some connection between these two things?
Yeah, so concurrent viewing crashed through the roof, and bound to happen, Suramya.
Hmm.
People, today's generation, I doubt anybody is sitting at home and watching it on television anymore. People are consuming this in various ways. People are consuming IPL matches while they are stuck in traffic, while they are still leaving work, while they are like kind of hanging out with friends, while they are like, not everybody is sitting in a five-star hotel and watching it on the screen. Not everybody is
Yeah.
sitting at home and watching it on cable television anymore. It doesn't work like that.
True.
You have youngsters who are sitting together, probably have chilling, kind of watching it on their mobile, on their iPads. There are Technology has been seeping in for a while now. This has not been an overnight
Hmm.
revolution, and this is not going to stop here. This is going to go massive. We are just in year one of this technology driven revolution. I keep saying this. Look at the pace at which things have improved. In 2008, when the IPL rights were first sold, the digital stake of digital rights was less than 5% of the total deal, right? And
Yeah.
then what we saw in 2018 when it got sold, of the 18,000 crore that came to the table, almost 4,000 crore
Huh.
was part of the digital this thing. And now
Digital.
digital took over television, right? I mean, what Jio Cinema
True.
paid to buy television digital rights was higher than what Star paid. Why?
Huh.
because because this is again not just about cricket, and I've said this again and again. I mean, cricket was,
Yeah.
until now, cricket used to be the chief product that a broadcaster used to buy and sell it at whatever per subscription value or something to earn money back
Hmm.
out of it. And I've said this, that cricket is no more the chief product. Cricket is the byproduct that you
Yeah.
use to sell your chief product. Your chief product could be anything else, everything
Yeah.
else, data, sim card, whatever, right?
True.
So on that front, I believe, and by the way, technology will keep changing, it'll keep evolving.
Hmm.
Every day we listen to something new, we hear something new, and technology is evolving at a very fast pace. I remember a couple of months ago I was watching something on those Google glasses. I mean, it was a
Okay.
demonstration. Yes,
Okay.
and I was watching an NBA game on Google glasses, and the experience was phenomenal. It is not one of those heavy VR boxes, Google glasses are
Mm,
still light. And now I'm telling you, this is like your mobile phone today. Imagine what a mobile phone was like 20 years ago. The mobile phone was
true.
like a big brick that
Mm,
people used to have move around with,
mm,
right? Nowadays, the mobile phones are so sleek. So those VRs that were huge boxes have
mm,
now given way to sleeker Google glasses. You imagine 3 years down the line, what will those very Google glasses look like? These pair of specs that I'm looking at wearing, it'll be this
mm.
light.
Yeah,
It is probably heading that way. So you can just imagine
absolutely.
where technology is going. Now, people are only looking at JioCinema showing cricket today. But JioCinema, look at the amount of experience it is drawing in terms
Mm,
of data, in terms of insights, in terms of the consumer science that they are
yeah,
picking up by showing these matches. They are literally, they have invested in a gold mine where
yeah,
every day is a lesson for them in terms of where things could potentially be heading in the near future. So
yeah.
forget this. I'm already thinking about the next year, the next year, and the next right cycle. Actually, see, let me give you a news break on this show.
Okay.
IPL is going to be free on Jio Cinema next year also. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and
Well, that's
someday you wait and watch. Someday in Economic Times or a Mint or somebody will have that headline. Then we can say that keep listening
headline.
to Cricket Next first.
Absolutely. Keep listening to Cricket Next first. That's the point. And as Srini said, that next year as well, the IPL telecast on Jio Cinema will be for free. That's the point. And Srini, because Jio Cinema offers free IPL, that was the reason we saw 3 crore people watching the final match at 1:30 a.m. in the night. So that's what Jio Cinema has given it to the viewers. On that note, thank you so much, Srini, for joining with me. Now, we have ended one good tournament, and it was great chatting with you around this tournament, IPL 2023. Now we will be moving on to the other format, a completely different format, Test Cricket, World Test Championship 2023, India versus Australia. It'll be a cracker of show, I am sure, at the Oval. We will come and we will ask you our set of questions, but we also want some insights from London. And I just hope that you come up with great, interesting stories with us on this show. And as you just mentioned right
Look
now,
forward.
that you first keep listening to Cricket Next, so I'm very excited. When will that show come in? So I'm hoping that you bring in some great stories from there as well.
Look forward.
So I was in conversation with Network 18 Group Sports editor K. Srinivas Rao, where he broke the news that next year as well IPL will be free on Jio Cinema. We also had a great chat around IPL 2023, but next we will be talking about World Test Championship, which is slated to begin from June 7th. We'll have a great episode on that as well, but it will be greater when you will send in your questions to us in the comment section down below. And for that, you'll first need to subscribe Cricket Next. Do that ASAP, press the bell icon, and stay connected with Cricket Next.